Hello, fifth graders. So I'm going to start today's lesson by just going over the last slide in your notes from yesterday. So if you don't already have it, make sure you have topic 7-4 notes open so that you can just check your work and make sure that you got the correct answers. Okay, so what we were doing was subtracting fractions. So we would list the first 5 multiples of 10 and 8. We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. For 8, we have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. And I can see that the lowest common multiple is 40. So we're going to make both of those 40. 8 times 4 is 40. Whatever you do at the bottom, you do to the top. 9 times 4 is 36. 8 times 5 is 40. Whatever you do at the bottom, you do to the top. 4 times 5 is 20. So now we have 36 40ths minus 20 40ths, okay? And we end up getting 16 40ths as our answer. All right. Now, what do you notice about 16 over 40? They're both even, meaning that we can divide them by 2. Okay, now I only give you one spot for this. Is there a number that's bigger than 2 that they can both be divided by? Well, the greatest common factor is actually the number 4. All right, so 16 divided by 4 is 4. 40 divided by 4 is 10. So the actual simplified answer to this would be 4/10. Now in this problem, it actually wouldn't even be 4/10. Okay, because you can actually is there a number? So first of all, I would see 16 divided by 4 and 40 divided by 4, but there's even a number greater than 4 that they can both be divided by, and that number is actually 8. Okay, we have 16 divided by 8 is 2. 40 divided by 8 is 5. So our actual answer will be 2/5. All right. So that is an example of a fraction that really has to be simplified. So let's look at the next one. The first 5 multiples of 8, again, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. First 5 multiples of 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, and 16. Oh, not 16, I'm sorry. 15. Okay, do they have a common multiple? Nope, so you have to keep going. Okay. Let's rewrite this. We have, in this case, the common multiple would actually be 24. If you kept going with those multiples, so 8 times 3 is 24. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top, you get 21. 3 times 8 is 24. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Okay, so now we have to subtract 21 24ths minus 16 24ths. Okay, 21 minus 16 is 5. We don't subtract the denominators, just like we don't in addition, we don't add them. So it should be 5 24ths. In this case, there's nothing that can be divided, both top or bottom, to simplify. So it would stay as 5 24ths. Okay, so what we're going to do today, we're going to have a little bit more practice with adding and subtracting fractions. So a little bit more review for you guys, just so you feel confident. Okay. Now, this problem is actually one that I just noticed that we actually just went over for the homework. So we're actually going to skip that first problem because we just did that one. All right. But we're going to look at this next one, 2/5 and 1/4. Okay. So what we can do is we can multiply. We list the first 5 multiples. And first 5 multiples of 4. And we can see it is 20. Okay. So we can fill that in. 4 times 5 is 20, times 5, 5/20ths. 5 times 4 is 20, times 4, 8/20ths. And we're going to add them, 8/20ths. Now in this case, I forgot I'd put a subtraction sign. That's actually a plus sign. Plus 5/20ths. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13/20ths, which cannot be simplified. So again, that's just a little review, getting us back into the swing of things, okay? Now, this is kind of what I wanted to review with you guys, go over, okay? This is kind of bringing all of our skills together, okay? We're going to do some addition in a problem and subtraction. So the first step, if you remember order of operations, or if you learned about order of operations, whatever's in a parenthesis, which is this guy right here, you always do first. So we're adding 7/8 plus 1/12 first. So we need to find a common denominator. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 12, 24. Do I have to keep going? No. Lowest common denominator is 24. 8 times 1, 2, 3 is 24. 7 times 3 is 21. 12 times 1, 2 is 24. 1 times 2 is 2. So we add 21/24 plus 2/24. And we end up getting 21 plus 2 is 23/24. Okay, so now what we're going to do, this 23/24, okay, now what we're going to do, we bring this 23/24 up here. And this is my bad. This is not supposed to be a multiplication sign. Okay, this is supposed to be a subtraction sign. Because now we're subtracting 23/24 minus 1/2. And we don't know what that is because we need to find a common denominator for 1/2. Okay, so what we are going to do okay, so we have 23/24. All right, so now we have a new problem. We are doing 23/24 minus this guy, 1/2, okay? And we need to find a common denominator, okay? So if we were to find a common denominator between 24 and 2, can you tell me if you list the multiples of 24 and you list the multiples of 2, what is the lowest common denominator? If you figure that out, you would be listing multiples of 24, but if you did multiples of 2, you would figure out that 24 is the lowest common multiple, okay? So for this, we don't have to change 23/24. So we can just keep it the same. So we can multiply by 1 to get 23/24. But for half, we want to multiply by something to get 24 as a denominator. 2 times what gives you 24? 12. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So you get 12/24. So now finally we can subtract 23/24 minus 12/24. And again, the denominator does not change. Denominator is 24. All we're doing is 23 minus 12. And you end up getting 11. And can we simplify 11/24? Nothing can go into 11 or 24. That's the same. So it stays as 11/24. So let's look at this next one. Okay, we have 11/18 minus 4/9 plus 1/6. Again, we have to figure out what's in the parentheses first. Okay, so we find a common denominator of 9 and 18. What is the common denominator of 9 and 18? Well, if we list 9, 18, 27, 36, you don't have to go any further because 18 is the common denominator. Okay, so multiply top and bottom by 1. You keeps 11/18 because 18 is already there. 9 times what gives you 18? 2. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top, you get 8/18. So now we subtract these two because that's what it says to do in the parentheses. 11/18 minus 8/18. Remember, denominator stays the same. You get 3/18. So 3/18 goes here, and then 1/6 is down here. Now we need to find a common denominator between 18 and 6. And similar to last time, I would personally start with the lower number and list the multiples of the lower number, because most of the time you don't have to change for these problems both of them. You only have to change one of them. Because if you were to list the multiples of 6, 12, 18, you would see right away, whoa, look at that. 18 is in 6, and I already have 18. So 18 is my lowest common multiple, or least common denominator. So I don't have to multiply by anything. I just multiply by 1. It stays 3/18. 6 times what gives you 18? 1, 2, 3. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. You get 3/18. So we have now 3/18, okay, plus 3/18, and you end up getting 6/18. But now the big question, can it be simplified? Yes, it can, because both numbers are even. So you could divide by 2, but I'll give you a little hint that you'll have to simplify even more after you divide by 2. So to get rid of that confusion, try to think of a number that 6 and 18 can both be divided by. That's the greatest common factor. Well, look at your rules. Can 6 go into 18? Yes. And if that's the case, divide by the numerator, which is 6. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So your answer, your final answer, simplified and everything, is 1/3. All right. So what I want you guys to do is there is a Google slide that is located in your classroom. It's going to have a few problems that look very similar to this one. Don't worry about this last problem right now. Okay, so you're going to complete those few problems on that Google slide and make sure you turn that in. Again, first you need to figure out what's in the parentheses. Then whatever you find, you have to also again find a common denominator to either add or subtract whatever you found to the next fraction. All right, I'll give you a hint. Most of the time you're only changing for this one, the second step, you're only changing one of them to equal the other denominator as a little hint to you. All right. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.